Okay, so I'm going to refute some of the claims that were made by the opposition. And the first claim that she made was that renewable energy is not sustainable because it's just not, it's not reliable and it hasn't been developed enough to be able to support the country as a whole. But actually, the reason for this is that, or a reason that attributes to this is that the U.S. doesn't support renewable energy, and they heavily subsidize fossil fuels and nuclear energy, which is, so if we moved away from nuclear energy, then more subsidies could go to renewable energy, which would then encourage people to start using more renewable energy sources instead of non-renewable energy sources. It is stated in an article by Energy Fact Check that the oil and gas industry have received approximately $446.96 billion in subsidies from the United States, as opposed to just $5.93 billion for renewables since 1918. So obviously, the United States has been supporting the use of non-renewables over the use of renewables, and if we moved away from nuclear, then more could go for these non-renewables and make it more efficient, so it could be used to support the electricity. And she also stated that renewable energy is bad for the environment, but this isn't true. In a article made by Brown Paper Bag, it states that renewable energy produces little or no waste products such as carbon dioxide or other chemical pollutants, and so it has minimal impact on the environment. So these non-renewable resources, when she talked about using fossil fuels, she didn't talk about like geothermal energy or wind-powered energy or tidal energy, which is all types of energy that do not use those types. And also, the fact that nuclear energy is not renewable is bad because that means that once the uranium that is used to create this nuclear energy is depleted, there will be no way to make this energy anymore, and so it would be more practical to start to move towards non-renewable now, so that we can perfect it before this actually happens and we actually deplete this uranium. And so it is stated in an article also by Brown Paper Bag that one major advantage with the use of renewable energy is that it is renewable and therefore sustainable, and so will never run out. And another claim that she made was that nuclear energy is the safest method for collection of energy, which is not true at all. It's actually dangerous in every stage that it comes in. So even from the very get-go, from the very beginning of the uranium mining that you have to do to make this nuclear energy, it is stated in an article by Critical Issues that uranium is extracted from underground and open pit mines. For every ton of uranium oxide produced, thousands of tons of waste or tailings are left behind. Often the tailings are simply dumped on the land near the mine and left to the effects of the elements. So this waste is just left to affect the environment around, and it's not effectively disposed of. And it is also stated that in that same article that uranium mining on indigenous and tribal people's lands has devastated local communities and environments in North America, Australia, Africa, and Asia. So even at the very beginning of this process of just simply getting the uranium for it, it is very dangerous to the people around it. And also in the next process, which is reprocessing, it is stated in this same article that reprocessing is a chemical reaction that separates plutonium and uranium from fuel, which has been eradicated in reactors. The plutonium is important for weapons production, while the uranium is basically a byproduct that can be recycled as fuel. Because reprocessing is also part of the civilian nuclear fuel cycle, processing is a key link between civilian nuclear power and nuclear weapons production. So this plutonium that is created in this reprocessing process is actually is being obtained by countries that want to create nuclear weapons. So this is actually creates a danger. There's also radioactive waste that comes from these nuclear plants, and this nuclear waste can't just simply be dumped off somewhere. It has to be stored somewhere safe because it's very dangerous and very toxic. And in an article called Nuclear Energy by Critical Issues, it states that by the year 2000, the nuclear industry had created 201,000 tons of highly radioactive eradicated fuel rods. Waste from nuclear energy production must be safely secured and stored between 10,000 years and 240,000 years in order to prevent health and environmental disasters from radioactive containment. So this waste that is created from these nuclear plants has to be stored has to be stored underground to last for hundreds of thousands of years, and that doesn't seem like a very effective way to get rid of this waste, and we don't know yet the long-term effects of keeping this waste underground. And there's also been multiple nuclear disasters that are recalled, such as Chernobyl and Fukushima. And although you can state that nuclear energy has become more efficient, and these accidents aren't as often as they were, Fukushima actually occurred in 2011, which isn't that far away. So although you can say that it is much more efficient, it's not that much more efficient. And she also stated that nuclear energy is cheaper, which also is not true. In an article stated by EBSCO host, it says that Greenpeace also claims that nuclear power is far from the cheapest, most efficient, or even the cleanest alternative power source, and the United Nations agreed in 2000 when delegates refused to grant greenhouse gas credits to nuclear power plants. A year later, nuclear power failed to receive a sustainable energy label from the UN since uranium is still derived from non-renewable resources. And the way that nuclear energy is obtained is through very expensive methods that have to be perfected, and so this costs taxpayers a lot of money because these types of energy are subsidized, which costs the taxpayers more. And it is stated in an article by Nuclear Energy Critical Issues. It states that, moreover, the cost of monitoring and maintenance over such a time scale are unimaginable, and generations for hundreds of thousands of years to come would have to pay the cost for a few years of electricity for our generation. So, yeah, it's more expensive.